Welcome to Make Me Care, where Grist people talk about stuff. That's our new tagline. My name is Amelia Yuri, and I'm here with one of Grist's fellows, Sam Larson. Samantha has been writing for us recently. She's been on the collective intelligence beat, but for those of you not keeping up or afraid of the Borg, Sam, can you tell me what collective intelligence is and whether or not I'm going to be assimilated?
Whether you realize it or not, in a lot of ways you've probably already been assimilated. It's just a fancy word for the concept of the wisdom of a crowd. When there's a lot of people, it can seem like super chaotic. Patterns will emerge out of that chaos that can be really insightful. This has become particularly relevant in the sort of age of the internet. Since we're all so much more connected and there's so many more ways for us to collaborate and just so much more information. And so there's new ways to sort of harness our collective intelligence, which is everything from Wikipedia to crowdsourcing, like Kickstarter campaigns, things that sort of, put that sort of chaotic mess into an order.
I guess sometimes when I look at the internet, it feels like a chaotic mess, and sometimes it just feels like a mess.
A less chaotic mess.
A collective mess.
Right.
So what are some of the ways that climate scientists are harnessing the power of collective intelligence?
Well, so first off, I think that climate change has a lot of potential to sort of tap into collective intelligence because it happens to be a very messy, chaotic issue. And so to tap into us as like data collectors is a really powerful thing. People all around the world running around with smartphones, taking selfies, uploading them, all of this information just going into the cloud. If you can funnel that sort of information into something useful, then you can say a lot.
I think some people see the selfie as like the scourge of our generation, but you're saying we could possibly turn it around and use it for good?
Well, maybe not selfies so much, but if you redirect your camera to what else is going on. For example, there's this project in Mount Diablo State Park, which is just outside San Francisco. A couple years ago was burnt pretty crispy by a wildfire. And so they have signs throughout the park directing people's cameras onto a hill that they would want to monitor. And it says, please take a picture of this and upload it to whatever social media you use. And so then researchers or whoever can just go to that hashtag and very easily collect all of these photos. And so over time you have a lot of data points and you can create a time-lapse series of what the recovery looks like. And so far, like no officially sanctioned scientific research has come out of this, but it's kind of cool just as for an educational tool to see how the hill has recovered, and then that data is out there if someone does decide that this is the project that they want to delve into.
So how much of these kinds of projects in general is about like educating the public versus how much is actual science? Both seem like valuable goals, but what's the actual breakdown?
Now it's so much easier for us to collect information than it is to really thoroughly process it. We're going to need all sorts of new techniques to just be able to handle the amount of data that we have.
I heard that you were running, you're running your own distributed computing climate modeling project. A, what is that? And B, what's the point?
So right as we speak, my computer's making those extra whirring noises because I am helping to contribute to a project that's modeling how heat waves are going to go down in Australia. And there are a lot of like variables that feed into this. And so this takes a lot of computing power. And so normally, or historically, this has been done on supercomputers, which are very impressive machines, but they're also very expensive. Instead, distributed computing is rewriting the models and so that they can run on like people's laptops and desktops, and you just download the software that like lets it run in the back of your computer as you're doing whatever else, and then it collects information after the model has run and like sends it back to the research group. So it's a kind of cool way just to be able to like contribute without even trying, really.
Is this something that the average person is going to be like, oh, that's a really cool thing I want to be involved in, or does it need some marketing to appeal to people?
I guess that depends on how far along the nerdiness factor you are. I would say that I think it's a cool concept. Growing up, I always felt like science was just kind of like who, I don't know, it just felt kind of intimidating in a way. It's like people in white lab coats, it's just like all so official, and like how does anyone break into that? So I think it's cool for people to be able to just realize that, or just like to be able to appreciate the like joys of science and just like get it back down to the basics of like curiosity and like discovering what's going on in the world.
We should specify, though, that you are a degreed science person in addition to being an awesome journalist.
Well, I studied science, but so honestly, as an undergrad working in labs, I was kind of like, wait, seriously? This is like what research is? Like, I'm just like sifting through this mud. Like, what makes me so special?
You heard it here first, folks. This is actually real science. This collective intelligence stuff, really, that's really what it's like.
Yeah. So, like, sort of demystifying the process of what science is, I think, is a valuable thing for society to, come to understand.
Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Thanks for having me.
Well, anytime. And this has been Make Me Care.